Welcome to React Cheat Sheet Part 12. We're going to explore the use of useTransition hook in React version 18. So useTransition hook, it enables us to mark some state modifications as unimportant. Are you ready to take your React skill to the next level? Let's dive in and discover the magic of useTransition. Okay, so now this is the code that you see without using the useTransition, because I want to show you without using this useTransition first, and why do we need to use the useTransitions and how do we implement it. Okay, so basically we have the set name, all right, and the list. This is storing as an array, and we have the list size. So by default we set this to 10,000. We have the handle change as well, the function where we can basically type something in the input on the screen that I'll show you in a minute. And inside here we have the set name value and also the data list. We set this to an empty array which will be storing the value. Okay, so here this is the for loop starting from 0 and up until 10,000, and it loop through this one by one, and it will add the value. All right, so the value that we input in the text field, and this will push it one by one, storing into the data list. Okay, and once we have all of the value storing here, then we basically set it as the list. Okay, and we will storing in the list here. So the return here, this is the input where we can just type any value in the text box, and then we just want to loop through this one by one and show it to the screen. Okay, so this one again without using the useTransition. And now let me show you on the screen here. Let's refresh this. Let me zoom in a bit. Okay, so now let me type something. Okay, and notice how long it takes to render all of this. So let me just type random thing. Okay, I already finished typing and I'm still waiting for it. Okay, a few seconds before I can see the result, and this is the result that it shows. Basically it's showing one by one, right? The first character is A, then it will show this A for 10,000. all right, and then it will keep continue showing me the others as well, like AS. all right, as you can see, it take a while to show this, and then it go to the next one up until the very end here. And now you start to see the problem, right? Because our list is just so big and looping over 10,000 times, saving each value that we type and rendering it to the screen. It takes a lot of times, and this is the problem because the list state update occurs concurrently. Okay, it is very slow and also take about a few seconds for it to refresh. And this is not only 10,000. If I type something, as you can see here, a few characters like this, right, it just show me 10,000 times a few times. Okay, the list here is more than 10,000. And how do we solve this problem? And here, come back to the code. This is why we need to use the useTransitions. Okay, so useTransition here, it is a hook that enable us to make some state modifications as unimportant, as not important. Okay, so this state will be performed in parallels. Okay, in parallel with the other state update, so it happen parallelly. Okay, now let's just uncomment this code, right? And this here as well, wrapping around the code, the looping through, and also a set list, and also down here as well. So now let's uncomment this and try to save it. And what does this code do right now? Okay, so basically we import the useTransition that is introduced in the React version 18 from React. Okay, and this is how we declare it. It has the is pending, also start transition. Okay, and here we just wrap the code here with the start transition. We want to start the transitioning. Okay, And then right here, this is the is pending. If it is true, then it will show the loading text. Otherwise, it's going to render the list. And this one is not required right now. Okay, so let's save that again. Now let's see the result first, and then we come back and explain this code one by one. So here it is. We still have the same text box, but right now if I type something, notice we will see the text loading and also the list of whatever that I type. So I type something, right? As you can see, it's very quick. It shows the loading first, and then it will show whatever the text that I type. Okay, so this list here, it has 10,000 line, 10,000 record or value. Okay, so if I delete this, it also refresh the page right on the fly as well. So let's just say test. Okay, very quick without having to wait for a few seconds. Transition, as you can see, it render very quickly. So now let's go back to the code here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So now let's go through the code one by one. So when we use the useTransition hook here, all right, it will use an array of two values. So one is the is pending variable. Okay, so this is the variable called is pending, and this is the function called start transition. All right, so while the code inside the start transition here is running, meaning that the is pending variable here will return true, will set to true. So when it's set to true, meaning that the slow state update here, it is running, and the is pending will then be set to false once the state update is finished. Okay, so the set list, when it finishes running, then the is pending is no longer set to true. It will then turn to false. While it is running, then the is pending is true. Okay, so it's just like the text you see. If it is pending, if it is yes, then meaning that it's still running. Otherwise, it finished running. It's no longer pending. Okay, it's as simple as that. Now for the useTransition here, it accepts a single callback. Okay, as in here, just one single callback, and it contains all of the code here that associated with the slow state update. All right, including the state setting here. And using this hook here, it basically informs React that our set list state update is of low priority. It's not important. Okay, so this is the use of the useTransitions. And also the user will be able to interact with our application as well. They can click on the other button or click on the other tab. Okay, it has no effect at all. It doesn't slow the applications. And while again it is updating, the text here will showing as loading, and once it is finished loading, then it basically showing us the list of the value that it has already rendered. Now let's try to go back here. I'll show you again. All right, okay, let's just say hello world. Okay, loading, and it's showing me this. If I type something else, then it will refresh this right on the fly, unlike the previous code that I show you, which take a lot of time to render and slow our application. So again, this is the use of the useTransition. Hope you learned a lot from this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.